If you've been trying to manifest with the law of attraction and it feels like nothing's happening, it's not your fault. And you're not doing it wrong. You're just using the slower method because there's a second law, the law of assumption, that works far faster. And once you understand the one mechanical difference between them, you'll never go back. Most people have never even heard of it. So let me show you exactly why assumption beats attraction every single time. So here's what almost nobody explains clearly. The law of attraction and the law of assumption are not the same thing, and the difference between them is the entire reason one feels slow and frustrating, while the other feels almost effortless. By the end of this video, you're going to understand that difference completely in just 3 simple steps. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. So let's get into it. Step 1. Let's quickly define what the law of attraction actually says, because most people get this slightly wrong. The law of attraction says that what you focus on, you attract. Focus on what you want, hold the feeling of it, and the universe brings it toward you. Sounds good, right? And it works. But notice something hidden inside that idea. If you are attracting something to you, then on some level you are admitting it is not here yet. You are standing in one place, and the thing you want is standing somewhere else, and you are trying to pull it across the gap. Keep that picture in your mind because that gap is the whole problem. More on that in a second. Step 2. Now let's look at the law of assumption. And this is where it gets interesting. The law of assumption doesn't ask you to attract anything. It asks you to assume. To assume means to accept something as already true, right now, before there is any proof. So instead of wanting the relationship, you assume you are already loved. Instead of chasing the money, you assume it is already yours. You are not reaching across a gap toward the thing you want. You are quietly deciding that you already have it. And you might be wondering, isn't that just lying to myself? That's the most common objection, so let me answer it directly. No, it isn't. And here's why. Your subconscious mind does not actually know the difference between something that is real and something you have vividly and repeatedly assumed to be real. It simply accepts the version you keep feeding it, and then it goes to work making your outer world match. So when you assume the end is already done, you are not lying. You are giving your mind a new instruction to build from. Step 3. And this is the part that ties everything together. Why does assumption work faster? Remember that gap from step 1? With the law of attraction, you are constantly aware of the distance between where you are and where you want to be. And every time you notice that distance, you reinforce it. You're basically telling your mind, I do not have this yet, over and over, which is the exact opposite of the result you want. The law of assumption collapses that gap completely. There is no distance to cross because in your mind, the thing is already done. And here's the key. When you assume from the end, the feeling takes care of itself. You don't have to force gratitude or manufacture excitement. The natural feeling of already having it shows up on its own, and that feeling is the real engine behind every manifestation. So think about what that means. With attraction, you are pulling. With assumption, you are simply being. One keeps you focused on the wanting. The other moves you straight into the having. That is why, for so many people, the law of assumption works 10 times faster. It removes the single biggest thing that was slowing them down, which was the constant awareness that they didn't have it yet. Now let me make this real, because this is where it actually clicks. Let me show you the exact same situation handled 2 different ways so you can feel the difference for yourself. Take love first. Say there's a person you want in your life. With the law of attraction, you picture them. You focus on them. You hope they come around. But underneath all of it is a quiet, aching thought. They're not here yet. And you feel that absence every single day. With the law of assumption, you do something completely different. You simply assume the relationship already exists. You go about your day as the person who is already loved by them, not hoping, not waiting, already loved. Feel how different that is. One version keeps you longing, the other version has you living it. Now, money. With attraction, you visualize the money coming. You try to feel grateful for money that isn't in your account yet. And some part of you knows you're pretending. With assumption, you don't try to attract a single dollar. You quietly become the kind of person for whom money is simply not a worry. You assume you're already financially secure, and you let yourself relax into that. And here's what's strange. People who do this consistently report that opportunities, ideas, and even unexpected money start showing up. Why? Hold that question. Because the answer is coming, and it's the most important part of this whole video. And third, the situation most of you are actually in right now. You've been trying. You've watched the videos, you've said the affirmations, you've visualized, and it hasn't worked. So you've started to wonder if maybe it just doesn't work for you. I want you to hear this clearly. The reason it hasn't worked is not that you're broken or unlucky or behind. It's that you were using a method that keeps your attention locked on the absence of what you want. You were doing the harder thing this entire time, and nobody told you there was an easier one. So let's answer the question I told you to hold on to. Why do opportunities suddenly start appearing when you assume from the end? It comes down to one thing almost nobody talks about. Your mind is filtering reality for you every second of every day. Right now, as you watch this, there are sounds you weren't hearing and details you weren't noticing because your mind decided they weren't important. It only shows you what matches what you believe is true. So think about what that means for manifestation. When you constantly feel the lack of what you want, your mind filters the world for evidence of that lack. And that's all you see. Closed doors, reasons it won't happen, proof you don't have it. But the moment you assume you already have it, your mind flips. It starts filtering for the opposite. It starts showing you the open doors, the small signs, the opportunities that were probably there the whole time. You didn't change the world, you changed the filter. And that is why people who master this say it feels less like chasing and more like things finally start coming to them. The law of attraction had you fighting your own mind's filter. The law of assumption puts that filter to work for you instead. So how do you actually start? Let me give you something simple you can do tonight, and it takes about 5 minutes. Pick one thing you've been wanting, just one. Now, instead of wishing for it, I want you to ask yourself a single question. How would I feel right now if this were already done? Not how would I feel when it happens. How would I feel if it were already true, right now, tonight? Then let yourself actually feel that. Relief, calm, quiet satisfaction, as if the wanting is just over. Do that for a few minutes as you fall asleep, because the drowsy state right before sleep is when your subconscious is most open to a new instruction. You're not begging the universe for anything. You're simply going to sleep as the person who already has it. Do that for a week and pay attention to what starts to shift, both inside you and around you. That one small practice is the entire law of assumption in action. So now you know exactly why the law of assumption works faster than the law of attraction. Attraction tries to pull what you want across a gap, which keeps your mind filtering for everything you're missing. Assumption erases the gap by having you live from the end as if it is already yours, and your mind starts showing you the way there. Same goal, completely different mechanism, and one of them is dramatically quicker. That one mechanical difference is the thing most people never figure out, and now you have it. If this finally made the law of assumption click for you, subscribe to the channel, because this is exactly the kind of teaching we go deep on here.